it was incumbent upon the minister to decide arbitrarily what will go to the Emblems committee that is designed and created with functions, responsibilities, and authority, and then stated himself and the honorable minister said that this emblem is the soul of the people, the soul of the nation, the identity of a people, the identity of a diverse nation struggling to move forward. It realizes hope for future generations. And the senator put forward that after
Senator Roberts.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Well, that is the shortest contribution fraught with the greatest amount of contradictions I have ever heard. If the honorable senator finishes off with the PAN is all of us, the PAN is Trinidad and Tobago, it unites us, yet says it's not a problem that it was announced at a PNM convention only amongst PNM people. It is amazing what the PNM thinks about this country. Shameful. PNM, this is not your country. This is all of our country.
Yes.
The Honorable Senator also, well, he admitted he is not a legal luminary, and he tried to question a senior counsel in the back there. And he said that when defining the words may and shall, he tried to put forward an argument that it was incumbent upon the minister to decide arbitrarily what will go to the Emblems committee that is designed and created with functions, responsibilities, and authority, and then stated himself and the honorable minister said that this emblem is the soul of the people, the soul of the nation, the identity of a people, the identity of a diverse nation struggling to move forward. It realizes hope for future generations. And the senator put forward that after all of that, the minister could say, well, I go decide, I don't need the Emblems committee. So then what you need the Emblems committee for? Just for material? Just for paper? Just for design? The honorable senator just said one instrument that brings us together. Yet the PNM in this entire lack of process has attempted to hijack the PAN. They've attempted to make it a PNM thing. Let me tell you straight, I heard Honorable Senator Paul Richards talking about the history and that PAN. You couldn't tell your mother you want to play PAN because PAN was taught as badness, as badgerism, as criminal, as something not to be respected. And he talked about in the 70s. Who was the government in the 70s who would make it illegal and disrespectful and not wanting to play PAN? It was the PNM.
Yes. That's right.
The PAN was invented in 1939. It made its debut in Carnival 1955. The PNM was formed in 1956. The PAN didn't come on the original coat of arms, but now today I have to sit here and hear the PNM pretend like it's only them love PAN, them create PAN, nobody else love PAN. The debate is not about PAN. All of us love PAN. All of us could go whole day on how much we love the PAN. I was born into the Desperados. My father, Al Roberts, is the lawyer for Desperados that saved the Hammer, Rudolph Charles, and when they had to go to court to fight for the opportunity to play. So don't tell me about PAN. The issue here is not PAN. It's the lack of process. the lack of respect of this government for the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
And let me just say at the onset, I don't know nothing about art. The only subject I ever fail is art, because I can't draw, right? I ain't fail nothing else, okay? But I could tell you, I looked at the picture, and in my opinion, I love it. Because somehow the golden pan reminds me of an Olympic gold medal that I've spent my life trying to get young Trinbagonian athletes to get. I ain't achieved it yet, achieve a bronze. But if it was bronze, I would have been happier because we get that. But it reminds me of that, and then some other people said, it looked like doubles. And there is nothing more Trinbagonian than a doubles. All are we love a double. So I personally love the design. I for that. So let me get that out of the way one time. But the debate is not about the pan. The debate is about us and Trinidad and Tobago. Nobody could tell me about the importance of symbolism, but symbolism must must rise on the platform of work, of discipline, of tolerance, of punctuality, of effort, of creativity. You can't leave out all of that and come with a picture and say, hey, we reached, symbolism is it. One could recall when training for the Olympics in 1996, I had 3 athletes, and they were training by Queen's Park Hotel, which is TGI Fridays now. Young people wouldn't know they had a little pool there, 20-yard pool. And 4 o'clock in the morning, these athletes weren't doing well. They weren't listening. They were giving me a headache. I had afro them. I had pulling out my afro. But there was a Carry Festa or CARICOM being hosted in the Queen's Park Savannah just across the road. And 4 o'clock in the morning, I told these 3 athletes, 1 Bajan who living in Trinidad and Tobago and training for the Olympics, and 2 Trinbagonians. I walked them across there, put them in the middle of those 30-something flags, and explained to them that they are training and to represent all of these people, their own flag plus all the other flags, in a sport that historically did not have people that look like us. And I explained that to them in the darkness of the early morning. They got back in the pool and they worked hard. I say this to say to the PNM, you cannot have our country in chaos. You cannot have blood flowing on the streets. You cannot have our economy shattered. You cannot have us at the wrong end of global geopolitics against our greatest trading partners. You cannot have us as energy deficient. You cannot have us with people struggling to live and then come to tell me, look, a picture, we proud and we working hard. Well done, PNM. It does not work like that. Senator, the Honorable Paul Richards said he cannot understand for the life of him how come this brilliant, genius invention from 1939 to now, we haven't been able to monetize it? How come it isn't and does not produce the energy, the level of revenue like the energy sector? He just couldn't understand. Well, I'm going to help him understand. The answer is right in front of his face. All you have to do is look across there.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look across there, because 48 out of the 63 years that we are an independent country, that side PNM has been in charge. 76.19% of our existence, the PNM has been in charge. Yes. So if the PAN ain't monetized, blame the PNM. If the PAN ain't respected, blame the PNM. Don't let them come here and tell me about they come with a picture, they remove some ships. And I must say at this juncture, I enjoyed thoroughly. Brilliant presentation by Senator Vera. I don't know if it's his change of the year. I don't know if it's the spirit of Carnival and Christmas intertwined, but I was thoroughly paying attention, and it was well delivered, historically great. And I asked all the children to go back and look on Channel 11 at Senator Vera's contribution. Excellent.
Yeah.
After listening to the Minister of Tourism's description of the meaning and the power of symbolism of the coat of arms, if that were true, then there's no need for government. Because the description given by the Minister of Tourism said that everything we need, everything that makes us great, everything is provided in that symbol, that emblem, that coat of arms. He talked about the soul of our nation, soul of our people. But yet, our soul is bleeding in the streets during an SOE. He talked about the pride of our institutions, pride of a nation. But every institution in the country is failing to do its duty, to do its job. Pride has to come from work, from discipline, from effort. Our soul and pride and hope of the nation's future. Yet, this government that makes those claims here and printed on Hansard did not feel the need to consult with the people whose soul the thing represented.
Imagine that.
You don't feel the need to consult with the children from Blabray and Point 14, from Matlot and Couva and Barrackpore, the people who this soul, this emblem that they say it represents. But they just talk in PNM convention, come and dictate. Don't tell the emblem committee, don't follow any process. Just come and dictate, design, and give we that, and then tell we die we soul. Good thing we in the Senate. If I was in an extempo, I would have said something else.
Santi.
The Prime Minister says symbolism is important. He quoted the Honorable Prime Minister, said symbolism matters. It's not a question of either or. We can have it all. As he goes off in the sunset, he could have it all. We don't know who have it all. Maybe he have it all, but he's left us with nothing.
Small pen.
It's not a question of either or. We can have it all. We can have symbols. We can have jobs. We can have food. But at the end of the day, symbolism matters. That statement epitomizes the complete abject failure of this PNM government for 9 years. People don't have food. Over 30% of the population below the poverty line. The economy is shattered. It is 6.14% less than in 2019, and 2019 already had 4 years of PNM failure and shrinkage. The economy is shattered. Energy sector is shattered. People are suffering. Inflation is high. The power purchasing parity of $1 is gone down. But they come to tell us, after all of that, don't worry, symbolism matters. It may matter, but it cannot matter over and above good governance, policies, increasing the ability of people to live, to be safe, and to enjoy their families. Then they can feel proud about the symbolism. But if the symbolism marks pain, separation, lack of ability to work, to pay bills, stress, higher suicide rates, crime, blood flowing in the streets, no amount of symbolism could overcome and overcompensate for incompetence. PNM is symbolism over substance across the board. That has been their way. They take picture, plenty picture, nice picture, nice picture. That's all the PNM does. We remember I saw a minister take a picture. She didn't build any house, but she take a picture in front of some mailbox and said,
Mr. Vice President, he is on a frolic. 46-1, please.
Senator, as you're aware, we only have 5 clauses.
Thank you.
Yes?
Thank you, Mr. Vice
Please,
President. I don't know if the report is or the next losing candidate for Sawa Batario, but I don't know, Mr. Vice President, for now. I don't expect the minister.
Senator Roberts, out of respect for the chair, let's not go there.
For respect for the chair, I humbly apologize for saying yes. Now, Mr. Vice President, I don't expect the Honorable Minister of Tourism, who's fighting up with a gentleman for Labray now since he get out of San Fernando East, to understand what I'm speaking about, because the PNM does not seem to listen to one another. They had 2 contributors and one contradict the next one. 9 does vote one way, 11 does vote the next way, and 3 days later all vote one way. So they are very confused. But his entire contribution was about symbolism. His prime minister's statement is about symbolism. I am talking about the PNM's ineffective governance and attention to symbolism by picture rather than performance. That is intrinsically linked to his statement and what they are saying here. So the PNM, rather than build houses, would take a picture of mailbox and say, we did good. So rather than deal with love and respect for the pan, you see,
Tell him what the pan come in.
I would have thought that this honorable minister, in piloting this bill, knowing full well that everybody loves pan, everybody support the pan, the coat of arms of the pan, lovely.
He said so.
I thought that this minister of tourism would have used his creativity, his power in the cabinet, and come here today and say, not only has this government decided to put our national instrument, our beloved pan, on the coat of arms, that we have approved a sum of 131 million to invest in a pan area, a pan factory, pan creation. I thought they would have come here today and said, because of the cuts that they made in 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 to pan in schools, that they're going to now reverse that, because the symbolism is they love the pan. But I am saying, show the love with the money, but they miss the opportunity, and they come here after cutting pan and cutting everything and try to pretend that the UNC didn't do anything for pan. Well, let me tell you something. Number one, it was Bastio Pandey who gave the Pan fraternity 12 acres valued at $75 million right now. That somehow has gone somewhere, and they're now in a room in some building to be refurbished by PNM and UDCOT. It was the UNC under Kamla Prasad Bisesa that increased the stipend per pan player in each band to $1,000, which they cut back down to $500.
Yes. Shameful.
It was Kamla Prasad Bisesa, a member of Separia, as the Prime Minister, who increased the prize money for pan in Panorama to $2 million. They came in and cut the price back down.
Shame.
But coming to tell me about symbolism.
Shameful.
Symbolism is disrespect. Action is love.
Yes. Well said. Shameful on their PR. Shameful.
I thought the Honorable Minister, when coming to show me the pan and the doubles connection in the emblem, in the coat of arms, would have told me that they have formed linkages with universities across the globe, in Canada, in the USA,
Japan.
Oxford and Cambridge, in Japan, in Australia, that we could have some sort of connectivity and exchange and our genius of pan to spread the pan while we are manufacturing more pan, much more than Mitco, making a mass production, small pan, big pan, ceremonial pan, real pan, sweet pan. I thought they would have come with a business plan to monetize on top of the symbolism. But all the PNM is about symbolism. They take away actual laptop from children and tell the children, we will put internet in your school and it ain't reach yet.
Symbolism.
They take away funding from sport across the board. They take away funding from football.
Mr. President, excuse me, Mr. Vice President, 46-1.
Using examples.
46-1. Thinks he's clever.
Senator Roberts, you were aware that we did a bill already about making the pan a national instrument. These arguments would have been more profound then. Kindly stick to the bill at hand, which, as a reminder, is directed towards national emblems, please.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I know the member is very nervous because he knows that he missed out on an opportunity to do something after 9 years of being here and around, having done nothing. He has the opportunity here today, and now he's sitting hearing me and going, oh, gosh, if only I had the cognitive ability to come up with something so good and to bring it to the people. So he's worried right now.
He's taking notes. He's taking notes. We are teaching him.
But the essence is, and the whole essence of his contribution, and this bill brought here, is that this symbol, this emblem, this coat of arms now takes pan from a discarded, unloved, disrespected element to one of respect. And I am showing them that that is not how respect is earned. Respect is earned through true love. True love means investment, opportunities, putting your money where your mouth is. Them P&M love car park more than the pan because they built 2 car park at 131 million each. Like 262 million for car park. They refurbish Skinner Park for 131 million and turn a football field into a sweat. Why you don't give the pan money?
Senator Roberts, you've gone way outside of the realm of the bill. I took a lot, we listened a lot about your definitions and how you classified things earlier on, which was far. Now you're stepping way outside that boundary now. Pull it back in for me, please.
Well, Mr. Vice President, I will move on. But I cannot help, I'm speaking to that camera and to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and they will understand the connection, whichever camera. They will understand that the P&M cannot continue to mama guide people with superficial symbolism and taking picture. That a government must be there for the people, by the people, to uplift the people, not mama guide the people, because they treat pan with disrespect. They cut everything to pan and then come here to pretend the P&M love pan. When they had desperados, invaders, and all these names, it's because they were running from the P&M. The minister called the pan a national treasure. I ask you, sir, is that how you treat a national treasure?
Abuse.
He said there's a decades-long clarion call for the removal of the Columbus ships.
That's what he said.
Yes, and therefore he said that is the reason they brought the pan. But you see, he contradicts himself within himself. I don't know if P&M minister, maybe as a MP that he wants to be now and a minister, you need 2 personality, but he's arguing with himself because he said that they love the pan and they want to show us love and respect and hope. But then they come to the ridiculous conclusion that it was because people were calling for the removal of colonial vestiges and the ships that they decided to put the pan. So you're talking about the cart before the horse or the horse before the cart. Because if we are to believe them that they love the pan so much, the pan is so brilliant, it's so inspirational, then it would not require 10 years of people talking about ship to make you want to put the pan on the coat of arms. You would have come up with that idea on its own without any need for any juxtaposition of any other perspective. So they do not even know what they are about, and they come in the Senate and they just talk wild and think, ping-a-ling-a-ling, we make sense. They talk about patriotism. Patriotism. Yet in Tobago, they leave the Dwight York Stadium to rot. When the previous government left $120 million there to get down into the guts of the Dwight York Stadium that is rusting and rotting, the electrical and the plumbing. They just power wash and paint, just like what they're doing here with the coat of arms. Power wash and paint. They're not giving the pan man anything. They're not creating any industry. They're not encouraging people to pick up the pan and earn a $10,000 a month and take care of their families. Nothing like that. Just a set of words and a picture. That is P&M, and the people are fed up. They're going to take you and your picture and put all you right in Balize House where you're handing out hamper to the media so they'll write good for all you. Manny Ramjohn Stadium, Atto Bolden Stadium, totally dilapidated. Our heroes' names.
He's starting now.
Senator Roberts, please. You have about a lot of time remaining, about 18 minutes. But you have really been outside of the realm of the entire message. Can you kindly come to it more succinctly, please? Just bring it in.
Mr. Vice President, I don't know if you were here or in the chair, but that senator there spoke about renaming things after our heroes and all the Port of Spain and all the streets and stuff. That's what he spoke about.
Mr. Vice President, on a point of order, senators should be courteous and refer to other senators by their name. You can't be pointing at somebody and saying, that senator there.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Honorable Senator who just got up on a standing order to argue with himself about himself probably didn't listen to his own contribution, because he said that in this debate that we need for national pride to name things after us, streets and towns, and Port of Spain came up and so on. And I am saying, under this PNM, Dwight York Stadium is a disgrace.
Yeah.
Manny Ramjohn Stadium is a disgrace. Arthur Bolden Stadium is a disgrace. Jean Pierre is a disgrace. And therefore,
Senator Roberts, symbolism and the national emblem bill, please. Not other matters.
President, with all due respect, symbolism is what they talk about. National pride and the soul of the nation. So I'm not sure why you're all of a sudden everybody wants to do squats and interrupt. But the point of the matter is that you cannot come when your actions show that you disrespect the nation. You disrespect those. He even said to name roads after people. In Tobago, the #1 highway is the Claude Noel Highway. The PNM left Claude Noel to die in poverty, to die without support,
Mr. Vice President, Mr. Vice President, 46-1, 46-4, and 53-1B.
Senator Roberts, this is going to be my last warning to bring it back in. You have gone off the track completely, and you're debating something else. Pursue.
Mr. Vice President, I don't know if you all are following this debate. I sit here and I listen to everything they say. They said that what this is about here today, after they announced it in a PNM convention, had no process, no consultation, they are coming to tell us how much they love the PAN. And I am saying to you that the PNM historically has disrespected PAN. The PNM was there in 1961. They created the coat of arms. They left out the PAN. The PNM left the PAN men as criminals running around. They have not created anything for them. Now they take the 12 acres that was given to them by Bastille Pandey. They take it and put them in a little room down in a postal office to be refurbished. And they are coming to say that they love and respect PAN. In their debates, they're talking about history and national pride. I am saying to leave a national hero, to leave a man who fought for Trinidad and Tobago, put his life on the line, won a world championship, and in his latter years, to leave him without pension, without any proposal, without any money, without any health care, without any insurance plan, is disrespectful, and they disrespect the PAN just like they disrespect our national heroes. Hazy Crawford right now is disrespected.
Senator Roberts, you're making the same point with several explanations, and you're continuing to go down the line. I have been very, very lenient with allowing you to go outside of the realm, and I'm going to ask you to wind up shortly if it is that you cannot come back to the bill at hand.
Vice President, with all due respect, I never left the bill. So unfortunately, if you would like me to wind up, I have no problem, because the people have heard this symbolism, this superficial change that the PNM is claiming that they love PAN when they've done nothing to support it. They've done nothing to enhance it. They've done nothing to monetize it. They've done nothing to respect it. The people will know. The emblem, we love the PAN. All of us love the PAN. The PAN, if some people don't like it, it should have been discussed before. The process was left wanting. The arrogance of the PNM to feel that this is their country. They keep thinking that they could not serve the people and then put a plaster and a picture and take a picture and pretend that they are a government. The entire country is in chaos. Nothing works. Nothing works. No institution. Even here debating. You cannot debate because they're afraid. They talk all what they talk, and when you're responding to them, they jump up on standing orders. That and all is not the way that a democracy should work. The opposition should have their say because the government will have their way, but not under this PNM tyrannical dictatorship that instructs members of parliament who to support for our next PNM Prime Minister, and they must sit down and take that. But the population will not take it. We will not be bullied. We will not be roughed up in any hotel in Tobago, nor in any Balize house. The people waiting for all your PNM, from Sawa Barataria down to Labre, the people waiting for all you. Call the election. Great is the emblem. Great is the coat of arms. The PNM don't love. They believe, you see, I wanted him to say that. Exactly. Great is Trinidad and Tobago. Great are the citizens of this country who will reject PNM straight through, from the middle in Caroni to Valix or St. Augustine, wherever, down to Labre.